let's talk about the trip so far. We had a nice drive to Toronto, about 5.5, 6 hours. No real events happened there. Checked in luggage fine, got on the plane fine. The plane actually had a problem when we first got on it. It was kind of interesting. For whatever reason, something was broken or not working right, and the plane couldn't start. Like the jet engines wouldn't start, so they had to like call in mechanics on the ground to like do something to manually start each jet engine. That was a little scary, and our plane took off about a half an hour late as a result of that. So I got about a third of a movie done on the entertainment system before we even got in the air. So that was kind of cool. For the sake of watching multiple movies, that was kind of cool. Got to the airport. Going through immigration was the easiest thing I have ever seen. Like, going through immigration was a freaking breeze. I mean, I walk up to the lady, I hand her my passport and my visa that I filled out on the plane, and she just has me look in the little eye scanner thing, and that was it. I mean, there was no questions. She never even asked me why I'm there, what I'm doing, how long I'm staying, whatever. No questions. She just stamped it and let me go through. Went through security check with my bags and everything. Didn't have to take my shoes off or anything like that. In fact, my laptop can stay in my bag, and all of my metal stuff can just stay in the bags itself. Doesn't need to be out in the open. It's nothing like America. America sucks. So there's that, and that went through really quick. So I got through immigration and the security check in less than 10 minutes from the time I got in the airport. Less than 10 minutes. Fantastic. Claiming your luggage. Your checked-in luggage, though. Took about 20 minutes just to get the bag. I mean, they're really slow giving you luggage because your checked-in luggage gets scanned before they give it to you. Before they put it on the conveyor belt, it's getting scanned already, and they'll mark it. They'll mark it with some writing or with some kind of code so that people know, inspect this one, inspect this one. They don't actually inspect it back there, but they mark it so that people will inspect it in front of you. And apparently my bag got marked with a bunch of stuff. We got a bunch of writing on it. You can see it right here. My bag had a bunch of writing on it. And yeah, they had no idea what to think of that. So they basically interrogated me pretty extensively. Not really interrogated, but they kept calling people over. Hey, come look at this. Hey, come look at this. And calling people over to check that bag. And then they finally asked me. They finally turned to me and said, do you have pliers in the bag? I mean, their accent is really thick. I can hardly understand them. But they're like, do you have pliers in the bag? And I said, yeah, I got pliers in the bag. I got a camera. It's for my camera equipment. I'm a tourist. Got camera equipment to record my trip and stuff. And they're like, oh, okay. And I was like, I have a screwdriver too. Like, I was like open with them, telling them things they didn't even ask me. Like, okay. Hey, come look at this. Come look at this. Hey, come look at this. So they kind of like, at one point I had 6 people, 6 customs officers in Cuba in front of me looking at this tag. Some of them were like smiling. Other people were like on the radio trying to talk, and I have no idea what they're saying because I don't know Spanish that well. So eventually they motioned for me to go into a big line where I could have an inspection of my bags. And I stood there in line. I actually let people in front of me the whole time too, because when they asked me, what do you have in your bag? I was up front with them. I was like, okay, well, I have a lens for my camera, which is this thing right here, that big lens. And I have a hard drive, which is right here underneath my clothes, little hard drive. And I have my clothes. That's what I have in my bag. That's what I told them I have in my bag. But what I didn't tell them I had in my luggage, because they didn't ask about the green bag. They asked about this bag, because that's the bag that had the writing on it. If they would have asked about this bag, I don't know what I would have told them, because that is way more than personal use. That could easily be construed as commercial use. And, I mean, I'm with a humanitarian organization that is giving this stuff away. That's giving this stuff away and helping people with medical supplies and food. And each of the people in the group had a bag like this. And we kind of dispersed it within our luggage. So I had some of my clothes in the green bag and some of the medicine and stuff in the black bag. In fact, I still do have some toothbrushes in here. You can see toothbrushes in there, ibuprofen. There is cool, fun things for the kids, like these bubbles things, stuff like that. And I mean, I don't know how I would have explained that to them, because I can't tell them that I'm with a group of people, because once I say I'm with a group of people and I have all of this stuff, they're immediately going to go and grab all the people I'm with in that group, and they're just going to pull over everybody and inspect them. And the last thing I want is to be the guy that rats everybody out. And we were kind of instructed to say, you know, you're not with a group. But the problem is, saying that you're not with a group leaves you alone. And if you're alone and you get pulled over with this stuff and you can't explain it, then you're alone. And that's a big problem in Cuba, especially with customs and things like that. So I was a little nervous, because it's like I'm in a line where people in front of me are having all of their stuff just dumped on a table or on the ground, and having people look through it and question each item. Why is this here? What is this? Why do you have this? Why do you have this? So I was a little nervous about that. But after about 20-25 minutes or so of standing in that line, trying to figure out in my head, what am I going to say? What am I going to say? They came over again, same officers with a different guy this time. Still, you know, hey, come look at this. What does this tag mean or whatever? Kept asking me over and over again, what's in the bag? What's in the bag? What's in the bag? And you know, after about 10 minutes of just solid drilling me with questions of what's in my bag while I'm in that line, the guy finally came over and put a stamp on my luggage bag here. So that stamp basically tells everybody in customs, you know, let him go, or he's cleared. And I was like, big breath. I didn't take the big breath until after I got out, but it was like, oh my God, it's terrible. And we had one guy also in the line. He's actually Cuban American. He hasn't been in the country in over 50 years. It's been 50 years since he's been here. And he got stuck in the line with me. And he got stuck behind all those people that were in front of me too. And had I not gotten cleared, I would have been right there with him for almost 3 hours. He was in line to get his bags checked for 3 hours. I mean, they're not checking his bag or questioning him. He's just waiting in line to be checked for 3 hours. And when he finally did get up there, they took a few questions with him, took about 5 minutes with him, and sent him on his way. It's like, what the hell? So going through the airport and going through customs in Cuba is a real bitch. That's the worst of it though, because after you get out of the customs, Cuba's fine. My camera equipment and extra duffel bag. This has medicine, baseball stuff. This is stuff that other people are bringing to get medicine, which actually the clinic is right next to the church, so we actually just had to walk there. So we delivered medicine, unpacked a bunch of Benadryl, nose spray, just a bunch of stuff that was going to help alleviate pain.